Hello guys and welcome back. In this video we're actually gonna implement our scores. So in previous lectures we only didn't implement one thing when it comes to our player, that it is that when he touches the ground he's gonna die. So we just need to insert one more line of code to make that work. So we're just gonna go to our Visual Studio script, which is a bird jump, and in this collision1 function we're just gonna write if collision happens and if he touches pipes he's gonna die, or if collision dot game object dot tag equals to bars, because I think that my tag in this ground is bars. Yeah, it is. He's just gonna die. Okay, so this should work perfectly. Like if I play the game right now, there shouldn't be any problems regarding this. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. So the next thing we have to do is we need to hit our obstacle prefab and hit apply, so we can apply all of our new changes that we made. So we're just gonna hit apply to all of them and hit apply to our ground prefab. Okay, so we can have all of our prefabs actually saved the way they are. So the next thing that we have to do is we need to create a new right click on our hierarchy section and create a new UI called text, and we're just gonna write a text to be called like score. Okay, so inside our canvas right now we have a score, so we're gonna click to our score and see where it is. So this is actually our screen. This is how our screen looks. So depending on the location of our current text, there's gonna be display. So I'm gonna set it to be on the middle, like score on Flappy Bird, if you can remember, actually stays in the middle, so it's of great importance to do. So we're gonna set font size to be 25 and set it to be white color, so it's gonna be standing on the middle, and we're just gonna set it to be bold and set our text to be 0 now. Okay, we're gonna set it here, and if we play it right now we're gonna have our score here. So what we basically did is we just need to click on the score and need to scroll out of this, so you actually have in mind where your collision of your screen is, so you can set your score to the right position. Don't set your score here, don't you drag this one here down there, because that would be a great mistake, as I already mentioned in previous lectures. So what we need to do next is we need to go to our bird jump script, okay, and create a new variable called score. So we're first gonna include a library called Unity, using Unity Engine UI .ui, because we're gonna use user interface. We're gonna bind our user interface to our actual game. So we're gonna include a public static int score equals to 0. We're gonna set it to 0 for the start, and next thing we're gonna include here is gonna be a public text variable, which is going to be an empty text field where we can actually drag our own text, score text. Okay, and the next thing that we have to do is we need to go to our bottom level and write a new private void on trigger enter 2D, because our actual point that we have, our actual game object that we have inside of our pipes is a trigger. So every time we pass that trigger we're gonna have a score incrementation. So private void on trigger enter 2D. So right now we're gonna write score plus plus, and we have a return, so we can have our script updating with each frame. That's why we need our return here. And the next thing that we have to include here is gonna be in update 1. So we're gonna go to update and right below this mouse down, so we can have our control decoding first. We can have our control actually compiling first, then we're gonna compile our score text being actually converted to string. Score text.text equals to score.toString. Okay, and next thing that we have to do here is going to be a if. So inside of our private void on trigger enter 2D function, we have to actually give it a statement. So if collision dot game object dot tag equals to score, which is our, I think the score is our tag when it comes to our point maker. So in our point maker we have our tag that is a point. So we're gonna go back to our Visual Studio. If our collision dot game object dot tag, if it collides with that one, we actually have a score incrementation. So that's pretty much how you do it. I think let me just save this one and play the game so I can see if this functions the best way. Okay, I just didn't put my score into our bird script, so let's go to our bird and drag our score down there. Just let me find it. Just hit okay. So score text, let me drag my score into my bird field that I have score text right here. So I think I have something missing, like what is happening. Okay, so let me play this once to see how this functions. So okay, this is not working for some reason. Let me just see what's happening here. Okay, so we have our private void on enter. Like if I enter score, score should be incremented. Score should be incremented, and I have my text score 0 right now, and I have my bird, and I don't know why it's not working right now. It should be working. Okay, it's not working again. So let me just see why. Okay, I think that my game object is point here and not a score. Okay, so just I saved it and I'm gonna play it again. Okay, now it works perfectly. So I just messed up my tag, and if you mess up your tag, everything is gonna be like wrong. So you have to put your tag to be the right one. So I made a mistake right now, so you don't make it. So I actually implemented my text and everything. So right now I have my score incrementing every time I pass through this one object. So I'm gonna repeat again what I did. So this is kind of tricky part of this game. You have to put an empty object that's only a collider between these two pipes. And when it comes to collision, so you have to make a collision here, collision function. So every time it collides with this empty object that has a trigger, which is called point, when it comes to tagging, we have a score incrementation. And we actually, what we did here, as I explained in previous game, like in color switch, you have to convert your text to integers. So your compiler actually knows what it's doing, so it can actually make a connection between user interface and your programming language. So what we're gonna do next is we're just gonna change the font. So I'm gonna actually drag a font from my desktop to my assets folder. I'm just gonna drag this font right here, and I'm gonna go to my score one inside canvas, my score component, and let's just change this font, I think, like this. Okay, so when I play it, okay, so I have like more Flappy Bird style font here. So I'm just gonna change the font size to maybe 40. Because as you know, when you're playing a Flappy Bird, oh, I can't, it's too big. So I'm just gonna leave it to be like 25 and click on my score, and I'm just gonna change the scale by 1.5. Then okay, so I'm gonna play the game again. Okay, so now every time we pass through the middle, we're gonna have a score incrementation, and we have a different font for our score. So basically how can you insert your score is that you can just drag it from the background, or you can go to assets, import new asset. It doesn't really matter. So just save it to a certain location and click to your score and drag your font to the font style that you have inside your character section in our inspector tab. So let's demonstrate again how this works. So every time I pass through this, it gets score incrementation, and if I hit certain pipe, I'm probably gonna die. Yes, I am. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next video where we're gonna continue with creation of Flappy Bird. Thank you for watching.